Hello, I'm Dr. Thomas Maples, and welcome back to A Sacred Journey. Today we're going to explore the concept of beauty, especially as it relates to the calling God has for the nature of our soul and its development. So let's sit back, take a moment to reflect, look within, and let's find something that is beautiful there in that inner landscape that calls upon us, especially something that may need attention from the soul. Maybe that's a calling from God, letting us know it's time to look within. It's time to act upon what's there. Look and see, and let's try and find one element of beauty that lies within. The other day, I happened upon a quote from the author Dante Alighieri, and it reads, "Beauty awakens the soul to act." That created movement for me. It created an invitation to allow the soul to act, my soul to act, as a means to create something new. A blog post on the subject that we're now exploring in this podcast. And as I delve deeper into the subject matter, I happened upon another wonderful quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who reminds us to never lose an opportunity of seeing anything beautiful, for beauty is God's handwriting. Thus, the subject matter for what we'll explore today. There is true beauty to be found even in those things that may bring chaos in our lives. If you hear sounds in the background of this recording, my studio happens to have 2 parrots in it, and they oftentimes have a mind of their own. And I believe that too is the beauty of God's handwriting. For at times it's in those moments of chaos or in those moments where things aren't going the way that we expect them to, that true beauty is created. It's out of that chaos that order emerges. And thus, let us begin our topic. Beauty is the calling of soul to act. At times, I cannot help but think, are we part of God's grand written story? Sometimes my mind will take me up this pathway into the unknown territory of my mind's eyes, where things may get a little bit muddied, but hopefully clarity emerges from the depths of what is within. And it's in these depths that our strengths lie, even our weaknesses, as we all know and are too aware about. But if we're aware of weaknesses, it also gives us an element of capacity to be aware of the strengths that we bring to the table. And this is part of each individual's soul's calling. It's these strengths as they interact to overcome or mitigate or even work in congruence with the weaknesses present that we could begin to not only dream our life forward, but also set the elements of our own physical prowess, spiritual prowess, or emotional, mental prowess to overcome the steps or the hurdles that may be needed to create that dream into fruition. When I happened upon Dante Alighieri's quote on beauty, I could not help but look for a complementary source to examine how faith, soul, belief, and perception pull upon us to participate in those larger events that call upon us to act. When he was taken aback by the loveliness of Beatrice that walked before him on the grandest of bridges in the streets of Florence, his muse was born. This event created a calling for his soul to act in the form of writing an anthology of great lengths. An anthology that explores what humankind will undertake to find the beauty of paradise that lies just beyond the personal hell we can create by the idling of a bored yet conscious mind. And this is oftentimes how literary works and the symbols present in them react to the soul's calling, the psyche. We consciously are pulled by these symbols as a means to create inner depths. But these inner depths are also worked in a way through language that pulls at the soul to inquire within, to find anyone who has read The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri will know what a beautiful story is found within its pages. But it's not a story for the faint of heart. It's a story of traversing through hell, a story of traversing through purgatory or lack of movement. And only through that capacity of overcoming purgatory, or the inability to escape, the inability to move, and moving through hell, which is even one step further, does Dante's protagonist come out on the other end into paradise. And if we ever read John Milton's work on Paradise Lost, we know that this is also a cyclical pattern. When I think of musings like this, I cannot help but see the beautiful nature of God's divine comedy unfolding in the lessons needed to awaken the soul to its calling. And what do you think that is? I'll give you a guess. It has to do with an emotion, and the only primary emotion: love. You see, the elegance of that which is beautiful is always in the eye of the beholder. Maybe that is why Ralph Waldo Emerson likens it to God's handwriting. You see, that which we find beautiful is a collective, yet highly individual construct psychologically. Because that which is beautiful to me may be bland, or even worse, ugly to your sensory perceptions. And that goes vice versa as well. I see that as the loveliness in God's handwriting in action. It imprints upon your soul what it needs to be there, even if it is not necessarily something that imprints upon the souls of others in the same way. Thus, we create the room for both criticism and alignment in the same anthology. Are we part of God's grand written story? Maybe we operate in tandem with the beauty we create in the world. How does this work? Well, one, it has to come from within. We all have skills, we all have a skill set. But to what end do we use them? Some may be more perceptually gifted, while others may have a keen intuition. Some may be more aware of their feelings, while others may be more intellectually keen. What is right or what is wrong? Now, don't get me wrong. Socially, some areas may be more sought after, but imagine a world devoid of feeling. How bleak would that be? Similarly, imagine a world dependent upon that which is perceived versus the possibilities present that have yet to be created within the intuitive dreamer. How bland would that world be if we could not dream or foresee something from the mind's eye that can create beauty where no beauty exists? A lot of this ties into Carl Jung's theory on personality types. There's opposites present, there's archetypes present, there's symbols present that drive the psyche to realize its nature. Now, some people are more strong in areas than others, but those same people may be more weak in other areas than the person that they are comparing themselves to. The key is to try and go within, to see beauty in God's handwriting, to see it in the moment, so that we could work the poles of the opposites, the polarities of the archetypes present, as a means to gain greater self-understanding and awareness. I really want to thank you for joining me here today. I hope this journey has been as much benefit to you as it has been to me in presenting it. And as always, I look forward to our work together as we learn to envision, chart a course, and advance confidently in the direction of our dreams. Goodbye for now.